Today, I want to talk about one of the most misunderstood characters that I've experienced in One Piece so far, and his story is so beautifully and tragically written, I just had to talk about it and him, and that is Dr. Hiriluk. When we're first introduced to Dr. Hiriluk, the perception of him is that he is a quack doctor, essentially meaning he's a scam artist. He's not a real doctor, and he's not curing anybody. He's just going around pretending to be what he's not, and that is a doctor. And that goes for the people of Drum Island as well, a place that's vacant of doctors at that point. People would rather be sick than get treated by Dr. Hiriluk. But something we do eventually learn about Dr. Hiriluk, while he might not be the most skilled doctor out there, and he might be a quack in some regards, what he believes in and what he wants to be curing is the sickness of the heart. To put it in simple terms, he doesn't believe anybody is just inherently evil and incurable. He thinks that everybody can be changed, everybody could be a good person. They just have a sickness of the heart, as he calls it. And we learn Dr. Hiriluk's values pretty early on, what it means for him to be a doctor, and that is showing kindness, and that is trying to treat everybody. His dream is to cure everybody of sickness. His idea of being a doctor is being compassionate and being kind, and although basically nobody knows it at the time, Dr. Hiriluk is the exact doctor that Drum Island needs. But before we get into that, of course, we have to talk about his relationship with a reindeer that wasn't accepted for who he was and was ostracized from his family and from a village that deemed him as a monster. Of course, that is Tony Chopper. These two characters absolutely needed each other, and they were the only people that accepted each other for who they were. They were both disregarded by society and by their peers and families because they were different and they weren't the same as everybody else, and they had different ideas, and Chopper was literally different because of the Zoan fruit. And Dr. Hiriluk was literally the only person that accepted Chopper, and not just accepted him, embraced him, took him in as a protege and even as a son. And their story is one of the most tragic in the entire series, and I'll talk about that another day. But the story of Chopper and Dr. Hiriluk is one of the most beautifully tragic written stories in One Piece, I think, entirely, and maybe ever. But in regards to Dr. Hiriluk specifically, it just goes to show his compassion and his kindness to take Chopper in when nobody else would. Of course, he was also the one to inspire Chopper to become a doctor in the first place and eventually become a pirate because of his belief in pirates representing freedom and the belief of something greater out there. Dr. Hiriluk is a complete contrast of the authority that's on Drum Island at the time. Wapol, also known as the King of Drum Island, has got the entire place under his rule, and he's taken away every single doctor, every MP for himself, basically as a form of control. So if anybody wants any sort of healing, if anybody's sick, they have to go directly to him, and most of the time he denies them of treatment. He's basically a really fucking terrible person, and Dr. Hiriluk is one of only 2 doctors that managed to escape getting taken away by Wapol. And ironically enough, even though the people of Drum Island looked at Dr. Hiriluk as a quack doctor, he was one of the only people willing to fight the system that were suppressing them. And there's no better representation of that idea than Dr. Hiriluk's eventual tragic death. Well, I say tragic end, there was very little tragic about it really, because he did go out on his own terms. Even though he was going to die anyway due to his illness, he died standing up to authority, and he also died absolving Chopper of guilt, because Chopper accidentally inherently made him die quicker than he was going to anyway with his disease, with this mushroom that he believed would cure him, but it actually made him so his time was even shorter. But even in his last moments, Dr. Hiriluk was showing compassion and love and care for Chopper. His rebellion against the system in place that Wapol had put on Drum Island, and his expression of love towards Chopper in that moment, just goes to show what a beautifully written character and incredible soul that Dr. Hiriluk really was. I don't know if he would have had the strength to do that without Chopper. Like I said, their relationship, Chopper accepted Dr. Hiriluk for who he was, being a quack doctor, and he looked up to him and he really thought he was incredible, and he saw him like nobody else did, and Dr. Hiriluk felt the same about Chopper, and I feel like they really needed each other, and this was Dr. Hiriluk's last final expression of that sort of idea. That compassion and kindness trumps everything else. And a lot of Dr. Hiriluk's dream is more metaphorical than anything, you know, the cherry blossoms and curing everybody, all that sort of stuff. But his philosophy and what he actually believes in, I think, is really admirable and really says a lot about him as a person. And his story, like I said, is one of the most beautifully tragic things in One Piece in general, and it still sticks out to me to this day. And even after Dr. Hiriluk's death, his legacy continues through Chopper, which is absolutely beautiful, and Chopper is a stark reminder of Dr. Hiriluk's philosophies, and that is showing empathy, it's showing kindness, it's showing acceptance, and it's the willingness to help people, and that's all that matters. You know, Chopper does exactly the same thing. Chopper could have easily have rejected society and become a bad person, or a bad reindeer, I guess you could say, but Dr. Hiriluk was the one that steered him in the right direction and taught him compassion and taught him kindness and taught him acceptance. And without Dr. Hiriluk, I don't think there would be a Tony Chopper. Now Chopper's sailing the seas, carrying Dr. Hiriluk's dream with him, and there's just something absolutely beautiful about that. And Dr. Hiriluk is absolutely one of the best characters in One Piece so far, in my opinion. Let me know what you think of Dr. Hiriluk as a character. What do you think about his story? Do you like him? Do you hate him for some odd reason? Just let me know your opinions. I want to discuss his character with you. Maybe you can tell me some perspectives that I hadn't really thought of with Dr. Hiriluk, but overall I think he's fantastically written, as most characters are in One Piece, and like I said, he's one of my favourite characters in the series for sure. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.